Or some of us Africans get the opportunity to leave the motherland and then go abroad, whether that's UK, US. And some of us have this sort of hate for our homeland and we totally forget about home. Some of us hate it so much that we swear that we will never ever step a foot in our motherland ever again. There are people who think this way. And who is really missing out? Well, we're not going to see the ripple effect of that until much later on. So in this video, I'm going to break down why you are missing out if you've left the motherland and you have no intentions of doing anything back home and you think you are done and you are good forever. There is an article from New York Times predicting why Africa is the future. A lot of people have been talking about why Africa is the future, Africa is the future, Africa is blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, there's been a lot of speculations, there's been a lot of legit arguments as to why Africa is the future. Because if you do look at the Asian countries, like India now, you know, the power is shifting towards people with human capital. China had a human capital, large population, and, you know, a little bit of leadership, and they've made a huge impact in the world. And now it's shifting to India, where they have huge population. So Africa, in this case, is destined for the same. But before that happens, a lot has to happen. You know, borderless, you know, channels to all African countries like the European Union, and a lot has to happen. But there is one fact that we cannot ignore, and the fact that the Western world, they are not having enough babies, right? So the population is stagnant or it is going down. Like China is facing the population crisis because now its citizens are educated, and, you know, there is an issue between men and women, and people trying to give birth, people don't want to give birth. Individuals in the West are becoming extremely selfish, right? Some people don't want to give birth because it messes with their body and a lot of other stuff, right? So while that is happening, Africans are having a lot of babies. Right? We are getting busy in the bedroom. Young people come with a lot of energy. So the human capital is in Africa. And if you do couple that with all the natural resources that we have here in Africa, there is absolutely no competition except leadership, cooperating, and us coming together as one. While the population in Africa is increasing, while everywhere is stagnant or declining, what's going to happen to prices of land, houses, assets? If you start in a company, the demand for your product and services, the numbers is growing. If we become borderless, okay, all of these are speculations, right? And as things get crazy in the West, more people are eyeing Africa to invest. So there's a couple of issues in Africa that has kept us where we are for all this while. Those barriers are being broken by the day. In years to come, my friend, this is not even in years to come. Present times, how many people are you hearing moving back to Ghana? When I run around East Legon, I see a lot of white folks, a lot of Lebanese, a lot of Chinese, and a lot of our brothers and sisters, Black Americans and people from the Caribbean and all that. People are moving. You might think it's a slow change, like people like myself. I am a native-born Ghanaian. I left and I came back. But there's a huge difference. The person who knows nobody here is not from Africa. They come here, they have to learn the system, they have to make connections, something that you already have, if you kept your ties when you left.
This video is brought to you by Adan Limited. Adan Limited is a company that I co-founded in Ghana. If you want your solar systems installed, if you want to buy land, if you want to design your house, if you need somebody to build for you, or you're already building and you want somebody to take over the building, we also provide a service of customized furniture. So if you want anything wood, you see the bookshelf behind me, all of that, we got you. It's customized. Whatever you want, you just gotta let us know what you want. We'll design it for you. If you have an example, we will do for you. Look no further by Adan Limited. The link is in the description below. Reach out to us and we can talk.
And you have this advantage. People complain, people cry and moan about the West being mean towards Black people, blah, 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 blah. The system is against them, blah, 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 blah. If you've been complaining about this, and yet you have no intentions of doing anything back home, where you actually have the advantage, I believe, with your connections, understanding the people, understanding the local language, wherever country you are from in Africa, you do have that advantage. If you add that to you having the capital, having lived outside, you do have the advantage. If you feel that you don't have the advantage elsewhere, this is the time, right? A lot of people are going to realize this, but it's going to be too late. Property is going to be too expensive for them to afford. Land is going to be so expensive. House is going to be so expensive. It's now that you might want to jump in. And I'm seeing this before my eyes. Things are getting expensive by the day. And I see new buildings springing up everywhere. And so much stuff is happening, right? And sometimes we tend to forget the dramatic change that has happened to Africa in the past 10 years. We are not where we're supposed to be or where we want to be. But there's been a dramatic change in the past 10 years if you do pay attention. You could go back in time and look through what has happened over the past 10 years, especially Ghana, Kenya, Ethiopia, and a few other countries, Rwanda. In the past 10 to 20 years, there's been a dramatic growth here, where you're looking at the countries with the highest growth in the entire world year by year by GDP. They show this. And most of them are African countries. And with the power of compounding, with time, we are going to be on top of the world. Not to mention the minerals that Africa has, right? They need us for electric vehicle if you try to go all electric. They need us for the gold. They need us for the chocolates. They need us for whatever it is. And if only we can negotiate for better prices. We're going to have the human capital. We're going to have the largest population if you do come together. We're going to have investments here. We're going to have it all. Basically, we are going to have it all, just like 200 years ago when all Homo sapiens were housed in Africa. Yes, human beings came from Africa, my friend. So if you listen to the Bible when they say the Garden of Eden, that was in Africa. Africa is where human beings are from, and this is where we belong. All this extra stuff, with the cold, with the snow, we don't belong there. Humans don't belong there. Especially you, my black friend, you do not belong there. We got the melanin to fight the sun. We don't need sunscreen. This is where you're from. Your genes is saying so. So, if you've been fortunate to have the opportunity to earn a decent living in the West, the least you could do is to invest back home to help your family, your friends, and the country develop, and also yourself, so you do not feel stupid when it becomes too late for you to take action. And this is my humble request of you, my fellow brothers and sisters abroad. Look back home, invest, do something, so you do not feel stupid later on, so you do not feel that you've missed out, because it is coming. It's inevitable, my friends. And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen within your lifetime. Now, if you've not subscribed to the channel already, can you do so? Like this video as it helps with the algorithm, and comment. Let me know what you think. And until next time, my friends, be legendary. Peace.